Now in this section you'll get a bit of design freedom. We're going to design up the shifter knob or handle, which will sit on top of this M12 bolt at the front. So the first thing you want to do is make sure, I'm just going to turn off my left and my right plate, you want to make sure, turn my relationships back on, you want to make sure that all your angles are set to 0. Just in case this is on a very slight angle, and if they're not a 0, make them 0, and you'll probably have to fix the position on the top here. So once that's fixed, we can start a sketch, and we'll do it on that middle plane again. So hit slice. Effectively, we're going to be designing the shifter which will fit over this part of the M12. I'm going to hit P to project, and I'll bring that into the design, just so we've got a reference point. And I'm going to create a line which goes from the midpoint of the bottom one, and we'll just continue straight up. Now the length of this point doesn't really matter. And for my first part, I'm going to design just a classic knob style handle. So somewhere along that line, I'm going to create a circle. Now I've got a few in the classroom. You can have a look and have a bit of a feel and see what size works for you. I've got one at 45 and I've got one at 35. I thought 35 was too small. 45's about right. I'm just going to do this one slightly smaller. So that's going to be the main body. And then of course we've got to have somewhere for the thread to sit inside of. So I'm just going to route from one side. We're going to revolve this feature, so we only have to draw half of it. So only worry about one side. So D for dimension. This is going to be 10 mil. So we'll create a 20 mil wide feature at the bottom. I'm going to set that B first. Click on the top plate. I'll set this to 10 as well. Now in reality, because we're going to have this tapped, you'll be able to set it at whatever height, high or low as you like when you wind it on. So you got a bit of freedom in that, but you don't want it to go below 10 mil really. So I'm going to set that to 10. From here I can give this a height now. So the stuff that I'm showing you now, you don't necessarily have to follow exactly. This is about your own personal choice and how you want this thing to look. So I might just give that one a little bit more space. And then I'm going to create an arc, 3-point arc, which goes from this here to up to here. And I want that to be a tangent constraint. So you can see as I roll it in, you can see that tangent constraint come on. If you don't get it, you can always add it afterwards. Click this arc and this part of the circle. You can adjust how aggressive that curve is. Ideally a dimension on there. So the bigger number should be a greater arc. So that should do for my first part. Now I'm going to need to have that M12 holding. Now I've already got that top line in there, so I'm going to draw a line from there straight down. I don't want it to lock to the midpoint in this case, straight down there. And I can finish the sketch. So I should now be able to revolve this one and this one axis anywhere along this line and just make sure it's a new body. So body 15 in this case, I'm going to isolate, turn off those relationships. And we will want to add our thread to this. So create, thread, click on the inside edge. It will automatically know that it's an M12 1.75, and we're just going to make sure it's on model. Okay. So when we do this and we print these out, they'll be able to screw it onto the end of that M12. This is my first one. And I guess the bonus as well is if you're not happy with the profile, you can always come back and modify. So I'm going to modify my sketch here. I'm just going to make this a smaller number, maybe 30, just to make that a little bit more sculpted, to change that profile up. So that's one way you could design your shifter. I'll do a couple of other different designs if you want to follow along with those ones, and you can see how they work as well.